Many people out there want to start a business, but there's always something holding them back, whether it's fear or a lack of knowledge or anxiety that they just can't seem to shake. If that sounds like you, we're going to get rid of that fear so you can prosper in the business world. So let me just start with you're not alone, because I definitely had anxiety when I first started my business. It took me some time to actually get it started. I kept coming up with excuses and I was like, oh no, I just wanted everything to be extremely perfect before I actually launched. I wanted my website to be perfect. My products, I wanted to have a lot of products. I wanted to basically do the most so that I wouldn't have to worry about people's opinions. When in reality, it was just excuses to delay and I guess to kind of hide the anxiety that I had towards starting the business. I definitely had anxiety, you guys, especially on launch day. OMG, I was, I guess, scared of rejection or just people not buying or people judging. People are going to be opinionated and that's human nature. However, I knew that was something that I had to get over and I had to just start. Have you ever asked yourself what the cause of your anxiety is? Because there is a cause. Why do people have anxiety when starting a business? So firstly, they're, of course, scared of failure, which is a normal thing. This is something that's gonna happen. You are going to fail and fail and fail. And then finally you will reach that success, but you just have to be motivated and you can't give up once you have your first fail. Everybody has their first fail. I had my first fail and that was before I became a six-figure business. Imagine me giving up and then eventually just being a loser. The only way you will actually fail is to give up. Another reason people have anxiety when starting a business is comparing themselves to successful entrepreneurs. That makes you doubt yourself. And you cannot do that because these entrepreneurs have been around for years. I was actually guilty of that. When I first started, I wanted to immediately be just like them. I wanted to have more products than they had. I wanted to have a better website than they had. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that can't be an excuse for, you not starting your business, because I definitely was comparing myself to successful entrepreneurs that I was seeing. I was watching them on YouTube, watching them here, there, TikTok, wherever. And I was just like, man, I need to be like that. And it's okay to use them as inspiration, get inspiration from them, but you cannot use that to compare yourself because you're just starting out and they have been around for years. Then you have the people who have anxiety because they don't have ideas. They don't even know where they should start. They're like, man, I want to start a business, but what should I do? If you are one of those people who don't even have ideas, this is when you need to sit down and you need to brainstorm. We're going to go over some ways to overcome anxiety, depending on what is fueling your anxiety, because everybody does have a different reason of why they're scared to start that business. Everybody has a creative side, and if you actually sit down, take the time to brainstorm and come up with ideas of what you're passionate about, what you love to do, you will easily come up with what your business should be about. Now, I'm guilty of the next reason, which is being afraid of rejection. And like I said, on launch day, guys, oh my gosh, I had this pit in my stomach. I'm like, OMG, I actually just launched my website live for everybody to see, everybody that I went to school with to see, every family member, cousins, everybody can see it now. And I had this pit. I'm like, OMG. There was so many people on the website. That's the thing. However, how many orders did I get on launch day? Maybe 3, 4, maybe 4 orders, I would say max. And it was from coworkers or friends, things like that. But as an entrepreneur, rejection is something that you are going to have to become comfortable with, because not every single person is going to accept what you're doing and support what you're doing. Some people are just going to naturally reject, either because they're just not interested or they just don't, some people are just like that. They just don't want to see you win, and that's okay. Because you don't need those family or friends to support you for you to win. I promise you, the most successful businesses out here, you're not going to get rich off of your family and friends. You have to venture off into the world to find customers. And then you have those people whose anxiety comes from, like a lack of education or experience in the industry, meaning you feel like you just don't know much about business. You don't know how to do taxes, how to do this, how to do all this paperwork. You feel like it's just too much for you. And so the anxiety is just there. You don't know like where to start, what to do. You're like, how do I even get my LLC? How do I get my EIN? And that anxiety is very common when starting a business. And it makes sense because people want to be legit. You don't want to end up, getting messed up by the IRS later on. However, this is when you just need to educate yourself. You need to start going on Google every single day. Every time you have spare time, go on YouTube, watch videos. This is when you need to give yourself the education you need so you can get rid of the anxiety. And then we have the lack of funds type of people. And you know what? It's like, if you are so scared to start a business because you don't have the money, or you don't want to start because you feel like, oh man, I have a job, and you feel like you have to quit that job in order to start your business, that is not true. Who's telling you that you have to quit your job to start a business? I've known people that have had 2 jobs and a business, and their business is successful. I'm talking people who get a lot of orders on TikTok Live, still able to do live. There's no excuses. That's another excuse that you're giving yourself in order to, because of that fear of starting the business. It's just another excuse. That's it. And then you have the lack of financial stability while you're focusing on your business. You absolutely can focus on your business and have a job. Once again, you don't have to quit every single thing you're doing in your life to now focus on this one thing. You might see results faster by doing that. However, if it's not working for your lifestyle, if you have kids to take care of, you have rent to pay, you cannot take a risk like that and just drop everything and, take a risk on a business, because at the end of the day, businesses are risks. You're taking risks. You're going to fail. It might take you some time in order to actually now be stable with your business's income and, be able to pay rent. It could take you years. Who knows? But I'm just saying, start somewhere. And whatever is giving you the anxiety to not start your business, I already know. It could be other things. The list goes on and on and on. Forget what your family says. Forget what your friends say. Don't ask anybody for their opinion. That's like the biggest advice I can give you when you are first thinking about starting a business and you really, really, really want to do this. Do not tell anybody. Keep this to yourself. Go ahead. Start planning out before you tell anybody. Go ahead. Invest the money in your business before you tell anybody. You don't tell people until you have already invested that money, and there's nothing that they can say that can stop you. So let's talk about overcoming that anxiety. How are you going to overcome all of those obstacles and things that you've planted yourself, not that are there, things that you've conjured in your mind to believe that you just cannot start because of this? So the best way to overcome, the first thing I would do is start by planning and preparing yourself for this journey. Get yourself a binder, start writing down your ideas, start writing down exactly what you want to sell, write your business name down, write your slogan, create a logo, go ahead, just start planning out, because once you start, it's going to become addicting to the point where you just can't stop. Go ahead, create that business, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, do whatever you can do. And understand that everybody's entrepreneurship journey is unique. Nobody's entrepreneurship journey is the same. Like, mine is not the same as the other successful entrepreneurs. We've all had different journeys. We've all had success within different time frames, and it's because we all have different strategies. We all sell different things. So it's really not about comparing yourself to other people. Just understand that you have your own journey and it will be different. And know that success cannot come without some sort of failure and rejection along the way. But you can't be afraid of failure or rejection. Like I was saying before, this is something that comes with entrepreneurship. Failure and rejection will come. And that is something you have to accept and just be content with it, because there will be plenty of people who accept what you're doing, support what you're doing, and they will love what you're doing. Your supporters will most likely be strangers, not your friends, not your family, people that you have never met in your life. They will be the ones who admire what you're doing. And I overcame my anxiety of not starting by just ordering products, getting my binder out, planning every single thing that I wanted to do, everything I wanted to sell, to the point where no matter what anybody said or thought, I didn't care because I already spent my money.